Welcome to another episode of Ark Survival Evolved. I'm Fish,
Hey everybody, I'm Paul.
and we have been working on our fortress inside the cave here. One of the things we ran into, though, is we've had a couple of visitors. This is our latest visitor. He's a scorpion, and he has been kind of a pain. He was following me around and knocked me unconscious. We have another scorpion inside the cave because he did the very same thing while I was building. So let's go take a tour and see what it's like inside the cave.
So we found this guy outside the cave. We're gonna get him tamed up here. He just kind of happened to cross, and since he was right outside the cave, we're gonna get this guy tamed up and see if we put on a massive door there so we can fit just about any dino we want through here.
Yeah, and I like the way it turned out. I used
It is impressive.
the castle mod that they have out there with the advanced architecture, and it gave us a lot more options as far as building things. So,
Open the big door for the big reveal.
all right.
Ta-da! So you can see we blocked off this area just for dinos,
Yeah,
right inside the door here.
Paul was busy. I don't know how he got this wall so straight. It's just insane. But
I know that was just lucky. These doors open. Okay. Yep. So we got this going all the way down here. I made a ton of chests. There's nothing in them for the most part, I don't think.
well, I put a few items in
Some
them as I was
bookcases.
cleaning junk out of my inventory, so they're not very organized yet.
Yep. So at one point we'll start naming them. You know, like this one, you can name your chest. We can have one wood, one stone. Name them all differently, so somewhat organized. Up here we got some steps. Here we've got kind of a lab area. I don't know if you want to call it that. Got a couple of forages. We got running water. We got water running all along, piping along the ceiling, all the way down to that water you saw in the middle in the other one.
You know,
Campfire,
I hate to
cooking pot.
I hate to say this, Paul, but it looks like you did way more work on this than I did.
Well, you did a lot of work too. We're gonna run over there in a minute. So we got a couple of um, freezers. Of course, we don't have anything in there. A couple of mortar and pestles. Here we've got our smithy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other first chests that we put in. We got plenty of beds now, so we can spawn here whenever we like.
Yeah, because
One,
I
two,
have a
three, four,
tendency to use
five.
up beds because you
Plus,
have
we
to
got the ones
wait
on the
a
boat.
couple of minutes between each spawn. So,
And these torches are eternally lit through magic,
yep.
or a mod, I should say.
Yeah, it's a nice mod, and I have them set on a timer so they only turn on. Well, these ones are on constantly, aren't they? I have some that are on
I
timers.
think so. So what we're going to do in this area, we're going to section this off and build in, more of a actual housing and stuff like that.
This
Not
is
sure what we're going to all do.
turned out to be a huge space.
It is a huge, huge space. You can see here's where water's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You can see we got fencing all the way around this moat type area so the dinos don't go falling in.
Because that was kind of an issue. Our T-Rex
Yep.
sort of suffered from that. And then I built this area here as kind of the delineation between the people and the dinosaurs. So,
Yep. So we got a whole lot of room for a whole lot of dinosaurs.
yep, I have no doubt it will be a tad laggy over time once we start filling it in with more dinos.
Oh yeah. And then Probably back in this area, we'd set up some gardening of some kind.
Yeah, I'd like to put up a nice greenhouse and see what happens. I'm not sure what happens inside these caves. These caves are built a little different than a normal cave, so they're not totally dark like a regular cave would be. So I'm curious to see if the greenhouse would still work. So so yeah, I spent a lot of my time making that area around there and make it safe for dinosaurs so they don't wander in there. One of the problems with T-Rexes is they have a really high they can go over some pretty tall spaces, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't make it look totally covered with walls, but I wanted to make sure that a T-Rex wouldn't accidentally fall in the water here. So that's kind of what I worked on. I guess I was on the safety
Well, it's
team.
coming along. Coming
So,
along nicely.
so that's what we've been up to. Put a lot of time into this, a lot of energy.
You
That
can
is,
see we've upped our dinosaur a little bit. Got a couple more. Remember zebra, of course. We've got a few more uh, pteranodons.
and we had a small mishap with Delta didn't survive. You know, one of the problems with having raptors that are 2216, while in Delta was 20, is this dinosaurs on the server naturally can occur up to 150 for level. So when you're out there out running around, you have to be really careful what you might come in contact with because you may not survive, and that's exactly what happened to Delta.
Life on the Ark.
Life on the Ark. So then I wanted to point out this is kind of sweet right here. If you want to take a look at this and climb up
Oh
here,
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. So
I forgot about the balcony.
this overlooks our entryway, and if you go up like this, you can get a nice bead on any dinosaur that happens to be just outside our doors. So that issue we had with the T-Rex trying to tame it, that issue wouldn't pretty much wouldn't be an issue here because we'd be able to it wouldn't have a blind spot that we wouldn't be able to shoot it from. So that was kind of my goal there. And then I made sure there's some gaps in here so we can fly the Pteranodons through those gaps to get them in and out without having to open the big doors.
Yep, that's real handy. I'm gonna go check on our little scorpion friend.
All right. What if you don't want to retract the ladder? What if you want to climb down the ladder? It's not letting me. That is odd. Here we go. It doesn't like doing it in third person, I guess. So where are you at there, Paul?
I'm out by the scorpion.
Oh, yeah. How's it doing for food?
He is alright.
Okay.
Got 14 on him. He's about a third of the way there.
That's pretty good. It's kind of cool colors. You got that blue in there and some green.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
So,
And 112 plus at the moment 28
that wouldn't hurt. Unfortunately, with
plus 28.
scorpions,
That might change.
there is no way to speed up the taming process of the scorpion. The best you can do is give them rotten meat, and so they have a tendency to lose more levels than other dinosaurs. But the other ones I'm comparing it to would be the ones that might use kibble, which we don't have kibbles. So thanks everybody for joining us for this episode of Ark Survival Evolved. We'll have to see what comes up next. Looks like a stegosaur is volunteering, but you have a wonderful day. Bye now.
Have a good one. Like and subscribe.